remember our naming conventions? This is really going to help you build out the advanced reporting that you need to analyze your creatives on a much more bigger picture strategic level. Again, this type of naming convention is really going to enable you to build out custom reporting in Motion. They do have tagging now, so you don't need it, but I think it's still the easiest way to utilize that platform. Or if you want to use another reporting software like Data Google Studio, this is also going to be available to you by utilizing that naming convention. So the way that I like to look at it is I like to have 3 different buckets of creative reporting that I need custom dashboards for. This is going to be creative that I want to make during the onboarding process, the ongoing process, and the bigger picture types of reports, which I like to zoom in on the quarterly business reviews. So we've already talked a lot about what type of reports and data and analysis I'm going to be running during the onboarding period, and that's exactly what we're going to have here. And you can have this completely automated and build out in Motion super easily. So you're going to have your top performing creatives over the last 30 days, maybe over the last 6 months as well. And then you're going to have a hook rate analysis as well as a hold rate analysis. Be sure to go back to that lesson if you want to zoom in more on the why I have those before. But to save on time and to make this as the most efficient as possible, that's the type of reporting that I'm going to be running when I am onboarding a client. But let's go ahead and dive into the next bucket, which is going to be your ongoing performance reports. Now, when I am running these are primarily for the creative retros that I am running for my brands. Every single month when you're working with me, we're going to be doing a retrospective every 30 days on what performed in an ad account and why we think something performed, and then making a plan for the roadmap for the next 30 days or the next 60 days based on what we learned based on that month's reporting. Really, of course, we're going to be looking at, number one, what are the top performers over the last 30 days? How does that compare to what was performing in the previous 30 days, right? And then we're also going to zoom in on individual test batches. Now, this is really going to be the meat of the overall creative retro. We're going to zoom in on every single creative test that we conducted and do an analysis on, hey, what ended up rising to the top here? What did we learn from each individual creative test? For each individual creative test, of course, we're going to be looking at spend, purchases, cost per purchase, ROAS, click-through rate, hook rate, like hold rate, average video watch time, all the metrics that we're normally looking at. But we're also going to be spending a lot of time drawing a much deeper analysis here, really focusing in on that why and using our storytelling metrics to help tell that story. Now let's talk about the bigger picture reports that we're running. Now, traditionally, this really is going to be more of a quarterly business review type of look, but for some brands, we really are looking at these every single month. So number one, of course, we want to look at the top performing creatives over a longer period of time. If we're doing a quarterly business report, then we're going to be doing that over the last 3 to 4 months. We're also going to be zooming in on format. And of course, we're going to go a little deeper than just image, video, carousel. We also want to look into the secondary format. So what type of secondary format buckets really got the most performance for us? Were they more us versus them before and after style image graphics, or was it more of the UGC or even more of the studio shoot type of content, or was it more of the celebrity stuff? This is really where we want to find out, okay, potentially where should we be spending more in the next quarter or the next 2 quarters? Another thing that we're going to be zooming in on, and not really presenting to the clients by any means, but we're using internally, is also video editor performance. This is why I'm so stoked about this tagging feature, because now we're able to actually tag the individual creatives to specific video editors and to certain creative directors and producers, so that we can see across the board, okay, how actually is your stuff performing across the board for specific clients. Another thing that we're going to be zooming in on too, particularly for brands that are using a lot of UGC creators, we also want to do a performance breakdown by creator, especially if we have certain creators creating more than one asset. And really, like, what we want to see here is, okay, what types of creators are actually having the most impact? How can we make a plan to find other creators that are like them, or even just double down our investment with those specific creators and continuing to invest in them to continue to get them to work with us. The other types of big swing reports that we're going to be doing are things like whitelisting. So it's really easy to utilize the naming convention to look at whitelisted content versus the performance of non-whitelisted content. You can also look at certain creative agency partners. So, you know, how is our internal team creative performing against all the other agency creative partners that we're working with, so that we can know, okay, should we continue the contract? Should we get rid of it? Should we, what should we do here? And also just bigger picture things like, should we continue working with celebrities or not? That's also a big one that I've been consulting on in the past. So I know this is a lot of reports and this is a lot of data. If you want to learn a little bit more about how I'm utilizing Motion to create all of these automated reports, please let me know. This is something that I think I might do an extra lesson on if you guys are interested, but just let me know and I'd be happy to get that in the works for you. Okay, I'll see you in the next lesson, which is all about how to actually show this amazing type of reports and data in a slide deck form, which has been highly requested. So I'll see you there.